My name is Scott Lanson. Today's date is September 26, 2013. Today I'm going to show you how I make one of my most favorite type luncheon meals. Actually, you can actually use it for supper or dinner if you like, depending on the elements that you use in it. But it's a neat soup because I use jalapenos. And I know you think that sounds strange for a soup, but it's actually good and it's very good for you. A friend of mine, Kim, gets seasonally sick easily from the cold, and I'm trying to tell her that if you consistently eat soups with jalapenos in them, it helps prevent almost completely you from getting sick. The last time I was sick was in December 1999. Other than that, it was 10 years before, and then it's been 13 or so years after. It really does work. Plus, the ingredients that makes the jalapeno hot is the seed, and that element is also one of the high anti-cancer preventative diets. Now, in order to start with the soup today, a fun way to do the soup is a little bit of wine. Not only because it tastes good, it makes cooking the meal a lot funner, if there is such a word. A lot more fun. Now, today's ingredients are going to involve the majority vegetable for you vegetarians. This soup would work really, really well for you. And then you can use the seasonal ingredients to help elevate the taste that you're looking for. You know, whether you're using a garlic powder or an onion powder or a celery powder or some form of high-end seasoning. Cut off the kernels off this corn on the cob, put that in there. We have a pasta noodle that we're going to put in there. You can use any kind of pasta that you want. Carrots, tomatoes, jalapeno, red onion for the sweetness of the soup. I like using red potatoes because it just cooks a whole different way when you're boiling it than you do of the normal potato. Green pepper, or you can use a yellow pepper, or you can use a variety of yellow or orange or red peppers. Minced garlic, seasonings. Here's some. Rolled oats, the white rolled oats. I know you would think that sounds weird, but if you don't make a lot of it, it adds a type of consistency to thickening the soup up. And I know a lot of you don't like okra, but if you don't use a lot of it, you just put a little bit in there, it also makes the soup thicken up. Not so much that it's a gravy, but just a thicker element than just a drippy soup. Cilantro, another good ingredient. Today I'm going to use ground hamburger because I like the taste, but I also like the texture when it breaks up, the granule texture that the meat gives you. But you can use chicken breast, dark chicken, you can cut up pork chops or any form of pork. You can use steaks, you can use any type of meat that you really want. What I do though is, not for you vegetarians, but for us meat lovers, I put in chicken broth into my soup. They also have beef broth. A little bit of liquid smoke. I know, another one of those odd ones, but it really does give this off-the-wall great taste. And if you want it hotter than just jalapenos, We have whoop-ass hot sauce, all the way from Arizona. And this whoop-ass hot sauce, if you really like it hot, will whoop your ass. Now, if you want to maintain a different element for your soup and make it just really a different category altogether, you can use all these elements, but use beets. And the reason why I say it might be a different way of cooking is, as you all know, when you cook with raw beets, it turns everything very red. And the look of it may not be as appealing as it would be just the general soup. But it makes a great combination when you dice these up and then put that in all of these elements. It makes a real healthy soup for you. The blend of all of this together, oddly enough, really works at preventing getting colds. But the secret element for this soup really is jalapenos. Now, 2 of these would make it hot, hotter than most of you would like. One way to be able to eat it with as much heat in it as it is, if you don't really like it that hot, is wait till your soup cools down to almost cool to warm. And then oddly enough, you can remove some of the heat and enjoy the soup. But for like me and many other people that really like the hot stuff, yeah, I can eat that and plenty more and some of this hot stuff. But then again, I haven't been sick in a great many years, so it really does work. Pretty easy to get this corn off of there. The more you cut into the stock, if you were to scrape it like this, it will actually almost give you that creamed corn effect, which I don't really want. Okay, what we'll do is get the pasta going. So you take the spaghetti noodles in this case, because you don't want spaghetti, but you do want the noodles. So you just break them up a little bit. And throw them in there. If I were you, I'd put some of your okra early on. I've already put the hamburger and the oats in there. Obviously you want the hamburger done. But see what I'm saying? You really don't need to put a lot of this in there. Tomatoes and some of that other stuff gives you that great vitamin C that we're looking for. Also, it's another thing that if you do this on a low boil until you get everything in there, then what you do is you go ahead and you boil it, take it to a high, then immediately shut it off. If you want to leave the lid on it to keep it, nice and toasty warm, that's fine. But what you want to do is shut it off and wait about 20 minutes, because after you take it to that first boil, it will cook all the way out. It will cook everything. By using the lid and shutting it off, you will keep the main ingredients of the vegetable in the soup rather than let it evaporate, and the wine's doing good, evaporate into the air, which you don't want to lose your health factor here. I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put the garlic in there too. And the reason for that, if you have guests in the house, when you're cooking with garlic, oh yeah, makes it really nice. It really does. Some people like doing their potatoes in large pieces, because some people really do enjoy almost what would be like a stew. They want to be able to pick up the piece and chew it and look at it and everything else. I just like little pieces, and the reason why is for what I had just mentioned to you earlier. It all cooks out evenly and completely in the soup. Okay. Now, if I had guests in here, they'd already be hovering around in the kitchen, watching me dice and everything. Well, number one, because I have the wine in here, and number two, because the smell would be going flavorably all over the house. A lot of people ask, well, what do you do with jalapenos? In the cutting of them, I just take it and slice it directly in half, like this. And then directly in half again. And then cut each one of those in half. And the reason why I tell you this is a lot of you may not like getting a huge jalapeno piece in your mouth while you're trying to enjoy your lunch, especially if you have a guest and you're talking and gabbing, carrying on, you know, doing the local gossip thing. But when they're small, it's easy to chew, and in the event that you don't want your guest or even your host to know that you're nearly gasping to death because you have this huge jalapeno chunk in your mouth and you don't know what to do with it, it's just best to do tiny, tiny, tiny little cuts like that. I get salsa, it's got the black beans and the corn in it and stuff. I just dig right into it and drop maybe 2 heaping tablespoons of salsa in it. Like I said, I put a little bit of liquid smoke in it, not a lot, but enough to do that smoke taste. And then the bouillon. And then while it's up to a boil, now you put the whole slew of what you just cut up into the soup. Now I know it looks like there's enough stuff here that looks like it could make a stew with so many ingredients. It doesn't matter about the brand, it's the dill pickle itself. No, you don't put the dill pickles in there, so you're probably saying, what's the difference? You go in and you just get what would equal to about 4 tablespoons and put it in there. Now I do double because I happen to like the dill taste. And yes, you can get dill seeds to do somewhat similar, but it really isn't. The taste really does come from the dill pickle. And here we are, getting the soup to slowly come to a nice boil after a simmering heat. Once the soup boils, then you shut off the heat and you wait about, as I said, about 20 minutes for a comfortable heat from the cooking. and then that helps release the heat from the jalapenos. But it turns out a real nice blend for you to enjoy. The time has come. The soup is done, and we need to get it into the bowl. Whoa, boy, the smell, the aroma. Oh yeah. Pile it up. Good thing I snuck the broccoli in. Since I enjoy eating soup, and staying healthy, and being outdoors, then I'm probably going to dine and enjoy my soup outdoors. And there is the soup, the meal I just prepared for you, sitting on the plate, ready to go for high health and complete enjoyment with all my secret ingredients.